This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
The United States of America will use all our resources to conquer this enemy. We will rally the world. We will be patient, we'll be focused, and we will be steadfast in our determination. This battle will take time and resolve, but make no mistake about it, we will win.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. To all the men and women of the United States Armed Forces now in the Middle East, the peace of a troubled world and the hopes of an oppressed people now depend on you. For your sacrifice, you have the gratitude and respect of the American people.
Good news today for families of American troops serving in Afghanistan. President Obama says most of them will be coming home sooner than expected.
America's combat mission will be over by the end of this year. Starting next year, Afghans will be fully responsible for securing their country.
As we reported earlier, the latest figures show the nation's unemployment rate hitting a 3-year high. That's making it particularly tough for military veterans, many just back from the front lines, who are now trying to find jobs in the civilian world.
I have to worry about finding a job and, paying rent and bills and groceries and gas. I think it's more stressful here.
With a sagging economy and rising unemployment, the stress is not unique. But for young veterans, most with little to no experience outside the military, the challenges may be even greater.
Despite more than 100 job fairs like this one across the country, 8 in 10 returning service members say they're unprepared for the job hunting process. And 75% say they don't know how to translate their military skills into the civilian world.
Many veterans complain their options are limited to low-paying fitness, security, or law enforcement positions.
Usually the candidates from the military bring with them a strong sense of leadership and maturity.
So my unemployment was cut off.
Frank Green is both unemployed and homeless.
I really don't share with the employer that I'm in a shelter. But if they ask me, I would share that with them. It's very tough. It's very tough. It's very competitive too. But I'm sure I'll find something. I'm a fighter. Survival.
They don't know how to prepare themselves for the private sector marketplace. Everything from having the appropriate clothing for interviews to knowing how to take the experience that they've had in the service and translate it into the types of jobs that exist in the private marketplace.
I applied maybe 100 jobs.
Eric Vidalma served in Baghdad, left the Air Force in 2008. All he could find, a part-time gig at IKEA.
They're coming home from serving our country, sometimes multiple tours, and their welcome home is an unemployment check.
Terry James was awarded the Purple Heart. He deployed 3 times to Iraq and was part of the infamous push to Fallujah.
My first job, I was an armored truck driver for 2 weeks. I couldn't handle it because it just reminded me so much of being back in Iraq rather than a truck.
He has had various civilian jobs since 2008.
Because by me being infantry in the Marine Corps, there's not really a lot of jobs I could convert it to besides law enforcement.
You really don't feel like you fit in anywhere. It's really weird and it's hard to figure out what you're doing when you've been through all that. And it's like, what's my purpose? Why did I get through it? Like, why did I survive the wounds that I survived just to come home and not know what I'm doing?
You feel like Rip Van Winkle, like you woke up and that everybody else has been moving on with life and you've been sleeping for a year and a half.
Just going throughout your whole military career, there's structure, instructions. And some people just can't just snap your fingers and be like, hey, I'm a civilian, I'm no longer in the military.
Military, there's a sense of security with, financial security, and there's also a sense of community. When I separated, I lost all that. I was isolated out here.
At a time when veterans are feeling a great deal of anxiety and fear and reservations about the future. At a time when our veterans are looking for work and don't know at the end of the day if they will find it. Notice I said, our veterans. I said that because we shouldn't depend on the government to totally bear the burden. The burden that as Americans, we owe.